Hey, what's up? It's Kathy, and I'm back with another process video, and this one is actually for a little collaboration I was asked to do with the wonderful Christine Meyer. I will have links for her project in my description below, but what she is doing is a little series called Stealing Saturday, where we're scraplifting each other, essentially. And so she did a video inspired by a layout, and I'm doing a video inspired by a layout that is on her Instagram page. So I'll put the Instagram link so you can go check out her feed, essentially. It's one of the newer ones on her feed, so you shouldn't have to go too far down. It's just that I don't have a good picture to show on my YouTube on this video to show the picture of the layout. I just had to screenshot it, so not the greatest. But yeah, so I'm scrap lifting a layout of hers where she had a larger picture and then 3 really fun embellishment clusters of flowers. And my original concept was I had some of the flowers that were similar to what she had used in her layout, and they were from basic gray, and I had cut them out of a basic gray paper. And they're really pretty. And so the original concept I have was, oh, this is perfect. Like she was using those flowers. I'm going to use the flowers. I don't end up using those flowers at all. I use something completely different. I think that this is like a mix and match flower packet that I had got back in maybe 2011 or so from... I don't know what it's from, but I feel by looking at it that it might be from Sassafras. You can see them up at the top and the bottom, and there's like pinks and oranges and greens and bold purples and different ones like that. And when I originally got them, you know how product pictures can sometimes be a little deceptive? I remember getting them and they didn't look like what they looked like in the product picture. I think in the product picture they were much brighter and more less vintage looking. Anyway, I ended up getting them and just kind of tossed them in with my random ephemera stash, hoping someday I would decide to use them. So I thought this was a great opportunity because the picture that I'm using, I have added like a filter to that kind of makes it look very retro. So this was a great way to kind of use some retro inspired ephemera pieces. And the background paper has a bunch of clouds with different patterns on it. It's from Studio Calico. I cannot remember if I got it in a kit or if I bought it individually. It was from 2013. That feels more to me like it was from a kit, because I think I was ordering Studio Calico kits at the time. So it was probably sent because of the B-side, and the B-side was like a pink grain. But anyway, I'm using the very busy cloud side. And it has some of the same colors, so it's kind of all matchy-matchy. I whitewashed the background a little bit with some white kind of craft acrylic paint, and then I used a stencil that was a heart stencil, and I used Distress ink in, I think it's called Lemonade or whatever, something like that. Limeade, lemonade, crushed lemonade, something fun and yellowy, and just put some hearts around. I kind of forgot how big the photo was and didn't think to put as many hearts going out, and so I ended up having to kind of go back off screen and add more hearts because, of course, the photo and the clusters were going to take up a lot more room than I had originally thought they were. Anyway, so my original concept was that these flowers, I was not going to layer them. They were just going to be clusters, but the flowers were meant to be layered in different ways. So I do end up layering them and using fun foam between the layers to kind of just create a little bit of interest and depth and shadow and everything like that. So it took me a while to really come up with the combinations that I liked for the flowers. And I do some of it off screen. I lay some of it out and then go back and do it off screen. Just the final gluing down, because I had it all situated, all sorted out, ready to go. And I stopped the camera and I go to start gluing it down, and I moved them all and did not think to do the smart thing, which is to take a picture, because it'll last longer. And so when I start to go put them back, they're not the way that I originally wanted them. But I like how they turned out. So that's all that really matters. I backed the paper with I backed the photo with just some random papers that I had in my stash. One is like a really old one from My Mind's Eye, and it was just a blue kind of gingham kind of look. That floral one is from Pink Paisley Wild Child, and I really liked it because it brought in some of that blue, the deeper blue that is in some of the flowers. So I thought this was a really good way to kind of bring that all in. And the vellum is from Maggie Holmes, and it's from a paper pad that I had bought, and I'm fairly certain that the vellum I have is a lot more grungy than if I had bought the vellum individually rather than it be part of a paper pad, because I always find when you buy paper pads, stuff's a little bit darker or a little bit more grungier than it normally would be. I do apologize. I kind of burning the candle at both ends right now with this recording. So I'm trying not to yawn, but also my throat's getting really dry, but I really want to finish the this. So you may hear me making like gross mouth sounds, and I do apologize. I don't like hearing those either, and I'm trying to avoid them as much as I can. So you can see, like, I laid this all out and I was like, I really like that. That's great. Let's not take a picture and just move it all and then hope that you put it back in the right place. I did not put it back in the right place, but I still like where it ended up. So like, that's all that matters to me. Some of the flowers I end up putting over the picture. It's a big enough picture that you can take up some of that white space, and that'll be fine. And I do have to pop some of it up on more fun foam, just because the picture itself has fun foam, but then each layer of the flowers also will have fun foam. So as you can see, it is different than that original, than what I left it at. And some of them I just I cut, like that one I cut in half and put half of it underneath the photo. So I figured, why not use up the rest of it, and then that way I'm not tossing it back in the stash with everything else. Didn't seem necessary. Put a few flowers just kind of floating on their own. I just thought that was a really cute kind of addition to it. I didn't do any down in that side one. I didn't do any floating ones down there, I should say. And that's probably a good idea, because I am going to end up needing to put the title there. I also don't want to use a lot of ephemera or extra embellishments or chipboard, because I don't really need to. It kind of has everything it needs. And I do apologize for like some of the shifts in lighting and color. I filmed this in the evening because it was the only chance I had to actually film. And I really hate filming in the evening because I find I just don't get the light that I like. Anyway, one of the things with the layout Christine had done was she had some borders on hers, because she was using some older stash. So she had some of those, borders that went around the edge of your paper and went on top of your layout. And of course, I didn't have any of those. Well, I have one. I don't like the color of it. It definitely didn't match with this. So I just drew a border, and it's just a swirly border in black. That's a black Jane Davenport refillable pen, and I had lost it for months, and somebody in the house found it, thankfully, because somebody in the house probably took it. So I'm glad somebody found it and brought it back. I'm just doing some outlining around some of the clouds, just different like stitch type patterns. One of them was like a zigzag, one was some X's, and one was just like a regular dotted line stitch. And it was pretty much just to add in a little bit more black outline detail, because some of the flowers have black outline detail. I'm going to add a few chipboard pieces from the Turn the Page collection. I believe this is the Turn the Page collection. It's not even the newest collection. I don't remember which collection it is. Oh, it's right here. Nope, doesn't tell me. Good, great. The thicker label does not tell you which collection it's from. It just tells you what it's called, and I think it's called Sunshine was the name of this chipboard collection. Anyway, I just used some butterflies, and I liked that little birdhouse. I don't end up using that Believe You Can chipboard piece because it's really dark, and it's just kind of dragging everything down, and I'm going to end up putting the title down there too in the end, and with that down there as well as the title, it was just too much weight down on the bottom. I'm going to use these foam phrases. This one says Stay Wild. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like an already pre-done phrase or write my own title, but I just end up using this one because I liked the idea of adding the white in with all that cream and vintageness going on, and I thought I wanted some up top and some down below, but I don't end up liking that either. So I'm going to put some of it over the photos, and there's still enough photo that this will work, essentially. I'm going to switch those butterflies, put the red one up in the right hand corner, just because there's so much red going on the left hand side, like red and peach and orange and stuff like that. So it looked better to balance it out. And I don't know if I mentioned that I put some gold sequins in the middle of the flowers, and that was just to add a little touch of gold. And I'm going to use gold Heidi Swapp Color Shine to finish off the page, and I'm going to get some on the picture, which is totally fine. And that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Be sure to check out Christine's stuff, and have an awesome day. And yeah, bye.